Welcome into the final edition of the 2023 season for the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. In this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Florida State. In many ways, Florida played one of their better games in this football game. For much of the game and most of the plays, they actually dominated Florida State, but Florida State hit big on high leverage plays when they needed to, and that largely made the difference in this football game, especially in the second half, as Florida's offense was unable to really do anything, and Florida's defense gave up a couple of plays here and there, which of course changed the game, along with some personal fouls that also changed this football game. Coming into the game, we knew that Florida State's offense was not good at running the football, even with Jordan Travis, so we figured Florida would be able to stop Florida State's run. That was largely true, and in reality, Florida really stopped Florida State in general. If you look at the stats in this game, Florida held Florida State to 4 of 14 on third down and under 225 yards in this football game. So not a lot on the stat sheet for Florida State, but again, some high leverage plays in big moments, some high leverage penalties in big moments that helped to swing the result. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, like this video, follow us on social media, check out our podcast each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis on the Gators, and drop us a dono on Patreon, where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all year long. All right, let's skip first down and get into second down here. They had a 4-yard run on first down. Now it's second down and 6. And you're going to see why Florida was successful at stopping Florida State running the football. It's Florida's winning at the line of scrimmage right here. Look at this penetration. They're trying to run zone run here. This is fantastic. Manny Nunnery starting alongside Mitchell in this game. We saw a little bit of Scooby. We saw a couple of snaps from Jaden Robinson, the freshman. But Florida elected to go with their veteran linebackers, which largely worked out in this situation. Nunnery here going to get a significant win. Look what he does right here. Right, he's going to do this really, really well. He's going to close down this gap. He's peering there. I'm going to close that down. Take a look. Close that gap down. And then I'm going to block shed and get out here as he spills this to the outside, and I'm on him. Right, I'm on him right there. Got a hand on him. Here comes your safety, Jordan Castell. And in reality, Jordan Castell, as you see on your screen here, hopefully next year is already going to be here. Right, he's going to be faster to read these plays as he's in run fit. He'll get down here faster. He's going to get here eventually. Here he comes. And now Florida's in great shape to make a stop here, which they're going to do. There'll be lots of different gang tackling efforts here. Here comes Princely. He's going to miss. And then here comes the freshman Bryce Thornton and Castell. Castell's going to miss, but Thornton's going to get him right there. Put him down for a loss, setting the tone early on that Florida's ready to play in this football game. Florida State obviously weakened without Jordan Travis, and now setting up a long third down right out of the gate. 3rd and 17 now. Florida's been susceptible to screens on third down occasionally, although not too often, but they have been before. Florida generally not susceptible, especially to east-west passing versus most teams, and you're going to see that in this game as well. But screens, you can occasionally get Florida on them. Not on this one. Florida going to run a stunt like we like to do here. Going to stunt, and then Jason Marshall's down low here on the boundary side of the football field. He is going to read this screen immediately, sees the blockers coming at him. He's going to evade that block. Evasion right there. Get head up. Now we got hands in the face here. This is textbook perfect defense by Florida. Then Marshall comes in, a chance to make a play on the ball, which he does. And 3rd and 17 becomes an incompletion in the backfield, and a dangerous one at that. So an excellent first drive from Florida, a 3-and-out. All right, 1st and 15 now for Florida State. This is their second possession of the game, and we're already into the second quarter. So Florida possessing the ball on their 2 possessions for basically the entire first quarter, only coming away with 7 points, though. Of course, Florida would have loved to have done more damage on offense, but they did not. And there is Tim Tebow. We all would love to see Florida be as good as we were, of course, under Urban and Tim, but not the case right now. So Scooby Williams back in the game here at linebacker, along with Nunnery. But we want to focus on Jaden Hill, who's put a lot of good stuff on film this year. He's going to put more good stuff on film right here. We mentioned earlier that Florida's really good at stopping east-west plays. We've seen this all year long. One big reason is how good Jaden Hill is at reading it. And in fact, he already knows this play is coming. I'm not going to say anything. I just want you to watch. Just watch Jaden Hill. I'm going to take the spot circle away from him, but just watch what he does here. And you're going to see he knows this play is coming before anything really even happens. As soon as he sees the running back motion out right here, look, he actually puts a juke move onto the blocker. Take a look at this. Right away, he's juking him to get into the backfield. That is doing your homework. He's seen this play. He's seen this formation. Good work by Florida's defense to prep this. He knows what's coming, and he now just needs to get back there and make a play. There he goes, evades the blocker. Now he's in. Head up, eyes on the ball. He knows what's coming. Let's make a pick six right here. Let's get to the house. And he's right here for it, right? He is right here for this. Of course, he's got the club on his arm, but he's right here. Chance to make it, get some contact. Ball goes shooting off into the backfield, almost a backward pass perhaps, but really, really nice play there from Jaden Hill. Good pre-snap recognition of a concept you've seen before. Way to block shed by just juking your assigned blocker, then getting into the backfield, head up on the pass, and having a chance to make 6 out of this one. This play was inches away from so much more, but already Florida State under lots of pressure just 4 plays into the football game. 2nd and 15 now. So far, Florida State unwilling to throw the ball down the field. They're going to be unwilling to do so here again as well. Try to run a little split zone here. Split zone here. Zone going this way. Tight end going this way. Cam Jackson wins early on. Scooby going to come in here and fill nicely. There's Cam with his win. There's Scooby coming in. And both of them are going to wind up making this tackle for basically no gain, setting up another 3rd and long. 3rd and 14 now. What has Florida learned since Missouri? Another 3rd and long. How are they going to play this? Trips formation here up top. How does Florida want to handle this? Well, they're going to man this. We're going to man this here, drop a safety over here and play 4-on-3. 4-on-3, Florida State is not even going to send anybody into this part of the field as they motion their tight end over. They're going to load this up right here. And then Florida is going to counter once they see this by bringing an A-gap pressure. Going to go A-gap pressure right through here. We're going to slide Thornton over top there, drop Wingo here, and drop in here. Of course, no one's going to be on this side, but we're going to make this move here to get aggressive and then force him to roll out either here or here. But again, in this case, Florida's not really worried about him coming here at all. We're going to force the action into this small box. We're playing man-to-man with the safety over the top, and therefore we get him off of a spot. And here we go. This successfully works. Going to fan out the O-lineman right here. Castell gets almost straight through. There he is, straight through. And now we're chasing. Rodemaker got to throw on the run. Going to come back on a comeback route here to the outside that Kimber is on. And then even if he catches this ball, nothing to the great Johnny Wilson there is going to get a first down since we're short of the 6. So Florida gets off the field again. 6 plays, 6 successful plays thus far into the game. Florida's defense looks excellent up until this point. 3rd drive now for the Seminoles. Florida adds 3 more points, up 10-0 in the early 2nd quarter. Florida going to bring a safety blitz. This time Miguel Mitchell in for Thornton, another young safety for Florida. Going to bring pressure here off the C gap. Florida State's going to be running this football away from that anyway, so a good play call there by Mike Norvell. Going to evade this pressure, not going to work in that regard, but Nunnery is going to do a nice job here to block shed this and make a tackle. Now, we have talked about Florida's linebackers really hurting this defense all year long, especially once Shamar James went down. I've mentioned how you really cannot be a good defense without quality linebacker play. They are so important. And you're going to see a good example of good linebacker play here. First of all, we get our hands extended. We want to control this engagement because we need to be able to push off here or here. We don't want to melt into this, right? We're not going to have any leverage. So get our hands out here, right there, hands out right there, hold, cast aside. That is a win for Nunnery. We've already seen him win once. Now can he make the tackle for a double win? Right here, move by the running back is going to try to give him a little in-out move. Nunnery. Square to the running back. He's in good position here. He's going to wind up being able to make this tackle because of his positioning, and then he's going low, shooting for the hips. Check, check, and check. Block shed, set your base, low, shoot for the hips, wrap up, pull down, right? Nothing flashy about that play. Not a big hit, not going to be in a highlight film, but it's going to be in this film review because that is excellent defense by a linebacker. That is what it looks like to do your job and to win your one-on-one battle versus 84, setting up 2nd down and long. 2nd and 8 now for Florida State. Florida going to elect to do something a little bit different here. Typically, a linebacker is going to be assigned for a running back coming out of the backfield. However, since Florida State is in a nub formation, so you just have a tight end here and you're on the boundary side, there's no receiver over here. Florida is going to elect not to have a tight end cover this on 2nd down and 8, and instead They're going to drop back straight into a zone. And Devin Moore, who I love and think is really probably Florida's best corner on the season thus far, at least on film, is going to play this really well. If he plays it a little better, could be a pick six, but he is going to carry this vertically while keeping his eyes on the running back out of the backfield in case he also enters into her zone. So any 2-on-1 concept here, he's going to carry this as deep as he has to and then rally down. So Florida State actually has the right call on here. Tate Rodemaker should make this decision much faster. As soon as he sees Devin Moore backpedaling like this, he needs to put this ball on his running back. Notice how his running back is looking right now. That ball's got to get to him right now. And if he does, it's going to be a nice gain. They've caught Florida here in a defensive call that is not going to work for this concept, but he takes a long time. Notice the timing. Back foot hits right here. Ball should be out. Ball should be out. Okay, maybe now. Okay, maybe now. Okay, how about now? That's too long. That's how you throw pick sixes. That's how pick sixes happen right there. And Devin Moore's almost going to get to this. He does get there to break it up. This should have been a game for Florida State. So Florida dodges a bullet here because a guy who obviously is a backup quarterback, not sharp, not reading on time, doesn't throw this ball on time and almost becomes a pick, but it does set up 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 8 now for Florida State. We're going to see them try to throw a vertical pass really for the first time all game long. Running is not working. East-west is not working. Let's try to shake something up. Florida's going to bring Wingo on a blitz, as Florida likes to do on 3rd down. He's a battering ram coming in here on the blitz, and that's going to help Princely get free right here on the edge to get a hit on Tate Rodemaker. And he wants to work one-on-one to the 6'7" Johnny Wilson versus a very tall Devin Moore at 6'3". It's a nice matchup here for Florida. Devin Moore, a guy who I think, again, has put the best stuff on film for a corner at Florida, is going to put good stuff on film right here. He's going to make sure he gains contact with a crossbody jam. That's going on to maintain topside leverage on this route. And as we turn right here, he's got the top. You can see him on top of your screen. He's got top of that route. He's got route control. And now the only thing he could do better, and Florida's DBs, for whatever reason, and I'm assuming they're not necessarily coached to do this, don't turn their head around. It's cost them, by my count, at least 5 or 6 potential interceptions, and this would be another one. When you stem this route, when you've beaten this route, essentially, the best corners will take a chance turning their head around. Now, look, the risk of that is if you turn your head around and they back shoulder throw you, they're going to have you, right? You're going to turn this way, the ball's going to come here. But in college football, you rarely see quarterbacks throw quality back shoulder throws, and you can bet some money. If I am Devin Moore, I'm betting money that Tate Rodemaker is not about to throw a back shoulder dime on 3rd down and 8 for his first vertical pass of the game. I'm betting instead he's probably going to throw me a pick right into my hands. But either way, Devin Moore is totally inside the window here of Johnny Wilson. And again, if he just turns around, this ball is in his hands, right? If he turns around right here, he's playing receiver instead, and he's picking the ball off right there. But now Johnny Wilson is still playing receiver. This ball is in a catchable place. He actually has this ball right here. This is where Devin Moore's height will help him. That's naturally where his helmet is as a taller player. So he's not a shorter guy. He's not, less than 6 feet tall. It actually goes off his helmet. Then Devin Moore finishes the play by pushing him out of bounds once the ball's been contacted. And that is going to be another stop for Florida's defense. So there we go again. We have 3 straight drives and 3 straight 3-and-outs to open this game. You cannot play better defense than that. I don't care who you're playing. It doesn't get really any better than that. 4th drive now for Florida State, 2nd and 3. In for Jaden Hill. Getting some reps in this game is going to be Sharif Denson, a true freshman. Take a look at the play that he makes right here. This is an excellent play by him on 2nd down and 3. Really good stuff, especially from a freshman. He's going to show why he's a highly thought of player who obviously has not gotten a ton of reps this year, but a guy who I think Florida staff thinks is going to be good. So right away, we're going to have to beat this block, right? Same thing we see Jaden Hill do. We know it's a run play. I got to beat my block and get in here and make a play. Juke him. Look at this right here. Ready? Great juke. Gets right past him and right into the gap where the running back is. Now it's time to make him pay. We're in the gap. We made our juke. We got to make a tackle. Head up. Arms around the waist, right? Always tackle the waist, then drag down, and then finish that off. That is an excellent play right there. True freshman into the backfield on 2nd and 3. One more time. Here we go. Out of the nickel. Got to come down and make a tackle. First thing you got to do is you got to wind up evading You got to wind up evading the block that's in front of you right here. Make a move on him, evade the block shed, get in the backfield, break down, wrap up, drag down. Finished off there by another freshman in Searcy. So excellent play, another tackle for loss for Florida. And they're in business on 3rd down as Florida State's deep in their own zone. 3rd and 7. Can Florida's defense do it again? Can we get 4 straight stops? The Swamp fired up. Florida's defense looking fired up. What are we going to bring here? What is Coach Ham going to dial up? He's going to dial up pressure. Florida's going to bring 7 on this play. Going to bring 7 right here. We're going to play cover 0, manned up, manned up, manned up. No safety back here. This is your true freshman, Sharif Denson, on Keon Coleman, a guy who, of course, most think is going to be playing on Sundays. Heck of a matchup here. Florida content to this with no safety, betting they can get pressure and they can get home. And they do get home. And in fact, everyone actually covers this really well from the start. You can see Tate wants to go down here hot, but that's taken away. And we've got that covered up there with Johnny Wilson. Nowhere to go right away. Has no time to make a second read. He starts to do here because he's going down, right? We're getting home. We're meeting here at the quarterback. Send everyone, meet at the quarterback. And we've got a bunch of Gators there in the end zone, taking down Tate Rodemaker, scoring 2 points. 2 points here. The defense up 2-0 on Florida State's offense, and things look excellent for Florida. It's 12-0. There's 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Florida gets the ball now, and Florida also is going to wind up just being in fantastic position at home versus a rival backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. 1st and 10 now for Florida State. Their first down of the game comes with under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. So Florida's defense firmly in control. No big deal, just 1 first down. Let's see if they can capitalize on the next play. They're going for a screen. Florida, again, all over this screen play. We get squeezed out here, but we are absolutely all over this, coming in here, here, and here. Rodemaker slings this down on in. And then here comes Jakeem Jackson, Florida's freshman corner, just to touch him down as he tries to make a move and falls. Boom. Perfect, right? 2-yard loss, basically. It's going to be 2nd and 12. Look at all this green they need to drive down. No big deal, except right here, we are going to have a tremendous lack of discipline and really just a boneheaded play here by Jamari Lyons, who's going to pop up and right there spit in the face of the Florida State offensive lineman, which, safe to say, that is unbelievably foolish and unwise. Never a spot for that in the game of football in any way, shape, or form. And you're going to hurt your entire team, and you're going to get yourself ejected, which he does. And Florida State goes from 2nd down and long to another first down after a crucial 15-yard penalty. So now they've got 2 first downs in a row and some momentum as they are driving late in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 now. Florida State staying with trips to the top of the screen, which you're going to see them employ all throughout this game. And here on the nub side, you're going to see Jakeem Jackson. They're going to get a simple, right here, seam go route. And Jakeem is going to open up 2 wide. Although he does want to wall this off from the outside. He wants to keep this to the inside because he's got safety up there in the middle. He's going to lose separation too much. That's exactly who Tate's first read is. So not ideal here. You can't get away with this. You're too open. Cam Jackson going to put his hand up here and get a chance to deflect this right there. He's going to miss, but that's too much separation. Too much separation right there. As we can see, Manny Nunnery is eyeing the number 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. He's going to open up here. He's watching number 3. So Jakeem Jackson has to know that he's largely working by himself on this part of the field here on this 3rd, and he's got to stay closer than what he does. He loses too much separation there on a route that is not really even a move. Watch this one more time. Simply just coming up the field, turning to the inside. This should be as easy as possible to maintain your proximity to. He does not, leading to a very easy throw that he cannot undercut right there. By the time he makes a tackle, Florida State's got a massive chunk gain. And now, although Florida has controlled almost the entire game up until this point, the 3rd first down in a row for Florida State's results, they're driving, and if they score a touchdown, they're only down 5 points. So despite playing a horrific first half, they certainly feel like they're just fine on the road in the Swamp. Next play now, 1st and 10, Florida State. They're going to attack up top here again. Johnny Wilson versus Devin Moore in a comeback route. I want you to focus on Devin Moore's technique. It's why I like him so much as a corner. And then pressure off the edge here, which is going to be picked up nicely by Florida State's running back there to redirect. So Florida does not get home with Castell. Tate then steps up. More pressure coming in his face. And then Devin Moore, watch now. Let's rewind here. Watch Devin Moore. Right, he's got to play deep third. His main responsibility here, he knows he has no safety help, is not to get beat deep on this play. It's 1st down. But watch how he continues to keep his eyes on the quarterback while maintaining topside leverage on the route. Eyes on the quarterback, topside leverage. And then your periphery, you're watching the receiver. He now breaks down on a comeback route. Devin Moore's got to launch back to come close this down. It's a long throw from here with pressure. And he is able to get here because the throw is not there right on time and contest this throw, right? That's why you want to maintain a close proximity. Now, Florida does not get pressure here. Tate makes a better throw, and this is a completion. On 1st down, this is a very difficult route to stop, especially if you don't get any pressure, right? It's going to be a really difficult route to stop. You have no safety help. You can't play underneath it. Sometimes the offense wins, but Devin Moore, though, really nice job to close and keep proximity. So unless this pass is really good, you're going to feel his presence exactly what you want to do on 1st down as a defender. Nice job there. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. 2nd down and 10. 1 minute and 51 seconds left in the half. Florida up 12-0. You're going to get the old guard tackle counter from Florida State here. The old GT counter right here. Kick out. And then here, get a block in the gap and have the running back come right through here. So early on, Florida can do better here. This is Kelby Collins. Recognize this slow-moving freight train. Get in here and hammer this. Hit this as hard as you can. Strike that as hard as you can. You kind of get a little strike there, right? We are at least behind the line of scrimmage, but you're just getting a little strike here. Now, if you're Nunnery, you know that he wants to kick you out of here. You got to try to get in this gap they're trying to run through. Nunnery recognizes this, sets himself up, and then tries right here to make this tackle. And ultimately, obviously, if you're Taraj Mitchell, which you've already seen on film before, you can't get off this block. And that's largely why, of course, he did not play defense on Ohio State's team. If you can't shed blocks as a linebacker routinely, you're not going to be a good linebacker. He literally runs right next to him, no block shed, can't get off of it, just swinging an arm. And instead of there being a 2-yard gain or perhaps a no-yard gain, if it was Nunnery, a 2-yard gain if it's Taraj Mitchell, Florida's just fine. And now all of a sudden, that's going to become a 1st down. So 2 chances at it, both from linebackers. Nunnery does a better job. Taraj Mitchell never gets off a block. And Florida State now another piece of chunk yardage on 2nd down and 10. They are in business in the red zone. All right, let's take a look at 3rd and 9 now. Huge play for Florida's defense. Again, a lot of freshmen here. Freshman, sophomore, freshman. All right, got a lot of freshmen in the football game here. A lot of communication on the back end. Are we sure we've got what we're doing? Yes, we do. Here's Jakeem Jackson, Florida's well-thought-of freshman corner. We've seen him on film this year. And he is guarding Johnny Wilson, and he is going to play this perfectly at the start. Stays on top of the route. He's winning. He's in where he wants to be, and now he is going to turn his head around because he sees Johnny looking. We talked earlier about Devin Moore not turning his head around. He could have a pick. Well, Jakeem's listening, and he wants a pick for himself. Florida State rolling Rodemaker route here to make sure he has time, except they are not running a vertical route here. They are going to run the perfect route, which we talked about. Going to bring a comeback route here to the back shoulder, and this is going to be nice right here as Jakeem Jackson thinks, I got a pick, throw it up to me. Uh-oh, now I'm not going to be able to turn back around in time. There it is. Ball's well thrown, although a little bit too far outside, but Johnny Wilson, huge catch radius. This play gets reviewed. It does hold up. But that is the danger, of course, of turning your head around, is you are susceptible to this exact type of route right here. If he does not turn his head around and he stays in contact like this, he'd be able to come back down on this, at which case he could turn his head around at that point. But because he turns around right here, he then loses contact with the receiver. Good route, good timing. Ball's not perfect, but they get the job done, and a crucial 3rd down conversion. If you're going to give up a 3rd down and you're Florida, sometimes the offense just makes a play. That's fine. That's a good play, right? You're all over that. You're shutting it down. It takes perfect timing, a quality release, a tough catch. Sometimes you're going to get plays made on you. You got to live with that one. The other ones that led down to this point on the football field, far more frustrating. This one, understandable. First and goal now at the 1 yard line after that Johnny Wilson catch. Florida's been a decent goal line team at times. They get a good amount of penetration here in the initial gap and have a chance to make this stop, but we whiff right here. Mitchell whiffs his chance at a tackle. He's in the hole. He's won the battle. Got to wrap up, make a tackle. Does not get him. He finds himself falling into the end zone right in there. And that's going to be a touchdown, Florida State. So after Florida played really a rather phenomenal first half on defense, 3 or 4 bad plays on this one drive go against the other 10 to 11 excellent plays they had thus far into the game, and you get 7 points. So Florida will go into halftime up 12-7. However, not perhaps as big as it could have been. First snap of the second half now for Florida State. Florida needs a stop to reset the momentum in this game. So far, Coleman's been quiet in this game. Florida's done a really good job on 4. And Florida State says coming out of the half, we got to get on the ball. Devin Moore's still in the game, of course, which I love. Florida away from now the freshman package. Jason Marshall back in the game as well. And then there's Jaden Hill. So let's watch how Devin Moore covers this route. The same exact route we saw Jakeem Jackson give up is going to be run by Coleman. And watch Devin Moore. Just keep your eyes on him. Notice how he's staying in close proximity to Coleman because he knows he does not have help underneath because the safety is robbing the sticks. He's got to stay in proximity. He is going to be the deep man. He's got to stay close enough. Rodemaker says, I'm taking my shot to my guy. He needs the ball. And Coleman, you can see right here, is expecting this ball cannot be coming to me. I'm completely blanketed. Oh, there it is. Devin Moore high points the challenge. Incomplete pass. And then, of course, the major weakness for Devin Moore is that he does seem to be fragile. He's been often hurt in his 2 years here at Florida, but I think he is an excellent corner. Another example there on film as to why. 3rd and 10 now for Florida State. Florida's going to drop into his zone and have this play completely covered, but my guy here, Jaden Hill, unfortunately is going to make a mistake. Let's open up and see what happens. Right away, Wingo. We can see Wingo is going to be looking at the number 1 receiver here. Here's your number 1 receiver. Here's your 2. Here's your 3. On this side, here's your 1. Here's your 2. Wingo's going to open up and see if 1 is going to come across. And if he does, he's going to wall off this part of the field. That's going to happen here. Wall this off. We're going to pick this up here. Jason Marshall's going to drop back over there. And now you can see Jaden Hill, who I've circled here, is going to reroute this because he has safety help, right? Florida essentially on this play is playing 4-on-2 on this side of the field and 3-on-2 on this side of the field. 4-on-2 on this side of the field. We are good to go here. If you're Jaden, you want to pass this route off by rerouting it, then settle in your zone. Instead, he looks here first. Why? I can't tell you. Again, I can never tell you exactly what the responsibilities are per the snap. I don't know what Florida's rules on this play, but it's hard to imagine that Jaden Hill is going to be responsible for anything over here in this area. Instead, what he should do is reroute this past him and then look here to see if he has a crosser from the other side and look to poach that from underneath. Instead, he turns there, and then he turns all the way back to here, where now the ball is already being thrown. There's the ball. So instead of this being an incompletion and a stop for Florida, or perhaps even a pick, if Jaden Hill is looking at the quarterback coming downhill poaching this, we have a first down right at the sticks, despite the fact that Florida is in the perfect defense to poach that and rob that. They do not get the job done, something we've seen all year long. Sometimes the scheme's not great on a certain play. It's going to happen. A lot of the times the scheme is really good, and Florida just unable to get their roles and responsibilities exactly correct. That one, maybe it doesn't fall on Jaden Hill, right? Maybe there's something else going on there. I can't say for sure. But it looks to me like, again, Jaden Hill makes a mistake there with his responsibility. Could have had a chance to make a big play. Instead, goes for a first down here early in the second half. 1st and 10 now for Florida State. Florida State coming out far more aggressive in the second half. I think they looked at what they were doing in the first half and thought, hey, we really can't just line up and throw east-west passes versus this team. We can't run the ball super well. We're going to need to open them up with the vertical passing attack. Credit goes to Mike Norvell for doing something Billy Napier was not willing to do when this game was hanging in the balance, which is attempt to throw the ball down the field. So Norvell taking some more chances here, matching up Jaden Hill versus Keon Coleman again. Now, Jaden Hill here has got to be closer, right? He knows he has help over the top. He knows his role is to make sure he stays on the inside of him. So he's going to stay outside, keep him inside, keep him funneled to his safety. But because you know you have help here, Jaden, you can be aggressive on this play. You have help over the top. Be aggressive. If this route is run in this area, you are free to do whatever you want to attempt to make a play here. And he's just too far away right now. Right? Again, he has safety help right here on your screen. You can see him. He's right there. You don't need to be this far away. You're serving no purpose here. And now we already have a first down. But because you're so far away, you're going to miss a tackle. And now 10 yards is going to turn into 24 or 5 yards. And that's the kind of stuff that Florida's defense puts on film. It's obviously maddening. Again, the idea there of this play on first down is solid. Florida's solid right here. We have everything we need, and we have a chance to be aggressive as a defender right here. You dream of this moment. You have help over the top. Get in here and make something happen. Missed opportunity, chunk yardage for Florida State. 2nd and 7 now for Florida State. Cue what has just been most maddening about Florida's defense this season is just how simple running plays go for huge plays versus Florida. Florida State trying to run an outside zone over here. And Florida at the start has actually got this down. The D-line has this played. Here comes big Chris McClellan. He's already beating his man at the spot. He's running to the gap. And then Princely is right here chasing him down. He's got a shot to make a tackle for a loss right here. He's going to lose control, not going to get him. And then McClellan right here, in my opinion, look, there's a lot of holding every game doesn't get called. But if you look at his left arm here, he is going to get held right here. He's completely being held. He cannot even get his left arm out here to grab him. Look at that. Look at his left arm. That is holding. That's holding. It's not called. And that's unfortunate because that should be a 10-yard penalty. It should be 2nd down and 20 and instead, or sorry, 1st and 20 and instead it's going to be a touchdown here. But McClellan being held despite doing a perfect job. Great job by him, right? If I'm coaching McClellan here, this is awesome. You wanted the point of attack. You got to the ball. You got held. You got denied a tackle. And this shouldn't have gone for a touchdown anyway. Nunnery now, who's been shedding blocks nicely all day, is going to be on the outside and is going to trap himself where he cannot. He's buried, right? We can't see his arms extended anymore like we saw before. He can't get him. And now we have the freshman again, Jordan Castell, tackling not his strong spot. Run fit, not his strong suit. You're the safety, right? Your job is not to come down here on this play and be a hero. Your job on this play is to make sure you are a safety and you save this from being a horrible result. And he instead is going to get into the wrong gap here because McClellan winds up being in that gap. And now we've got a bad read on which run fit hole to get into. We don't have an edge set here, right? No edge set right there by Nunnery. So we're 0 for 2. Nunnery sets the edge. He spills us to the outside. Castell can probably recover. He doesn't do it. If Castell gets a better read, then there's a no-go here. Castell goes over here right away anyway. We're 0 for 2 right there. McClellan's held. There goes Nunnery. There's Castell. But no worries. Kimber's literally right here. He's had his eyes in the backfield the entire time. Look at him. He's got a 10-yard head start. He sees it right now. No problem. We'll push him out of bounds right here. Florida State backup quarterback. Let's see if we'll do a field goal. Where's Kimber off to the races? Take the angle, push him out of bounds. No problem. And then you get this. Slow up. What are we doing here? Playing two-hand touch? I mean, what kind of effort is that? This is your rival. You're at home. Play with some pride, right? Dive at his legs, clip him out. I mean, there's 100 ways to get him to go out of bounds here or tackle him. And you go with the lazy push-up high after a D-cell. Touchdown, Florida State. That is obviously brutal stuff to see on film. And it's those kind of plays that have hurt Florida all year long, and they hurt Florida here again. So again, Florida, for the majority of this game, outplays Florida State up until this point. And now Florida State with 2 drives, 2 touchdowns in the lead. Under 6 minutes to go, Florida up 15-14. 15-14 lead, 2nd down and 11. Florida's going to have great coverage here on the back end. Excellent coverage here on the back end. We're locked up here, bracketed here, locked up here, locked up here, locked up here. Nowhere to go with this football. Tate's got nowhere to go. Only ball he could try is this ball here to Johnny. He's not going to opt for that. He's got pressure now in his face. And here's Big Dez. Big Dez going to get in here and grab a snack. One hand, two hands, sling him to the ground, right? Big loss, big sack, setting up a 3rd and a mile. Florida's defense desperately needs to stop after getting scored on twice in a row, and they get a chance here with 3rd down upcoming. All right, 3rd and a mile, 3rd and 24 now. What does Florida elect to do? They're going to bring just 4, but Caleb Banks going to get a huge win right here, driving right to the quarterback. Right, this is excellent. Here's your line of scrimmage, original line of scrimmage sticks. The ball already has to be thrown because we pressured here immediately. That is an ideal scenario for the defense. Rodemaker, for what it's worth, here actually makes a rather excellent throw with the guy right in his face. Almost a hero throw. Jason Marshall with excellent coverage right here on Coleman. Turns around to play the ball right here. Turns around to play the ball. I like that. Now turns around again to play the ball. And now he's going to get, in my opinion, pass interfered with. But a chance to make a pick. Can't quite hang on. Castello, chance to pick up the rebound. Doesn't quite get it. But Florida gets off the field on 3rd down. And they maintain their 15-14 lead and force a punt. 1:31 left in the 3rd quarter. Florida only up 15-14. Tight game here. Guard tackle counter coming again for Florida State. We saw it earlier. GT counter coming right here. Kick out. Get a block down the line. And Wingo is going to absolutely eviscerate the gap blocker. Right? So again, he's looking for the first player to kick out. He's going to come across the line of scrimmage. First player to kick out is going to be a much undersized freshman there at nickel, and he's thinking, this is awesome, right? I mean, this is great. I'm a left guard. I'm going to erase this undersized nickel right now. He's a baby. He's a freshman. I'm going to kill him. And meanwhile, Wingo's thinking, this is great. I got ahead of him. I'm going to eviscerate this left tackle right here. So we're going to have different thoughts going on. And then Scooby Williams is thinking, I can't wait. I'm going to come flying through this gap no matter what happens because I don't care. I'm going to come shooting through here. Check me out. There I go. Whoop. Yep. Yeah. Not a lot of words for that one. One more time. You know, you're a nickel. You're giving up, I don't know, 120 pounds right here, potentially to this, and you're in trouble. Get low and engage them. Actually, pretty good job, right? Doesn't get blown out of the gap right here. And that's a win for Sharif Denson. Wingo absolutely engages his man, and we're good, right? Bam. Get in here, engage him. Now all we need is our free linebacker who's unblocked to find the running back and make a tackle. The running back who has to basically stop completely, dodge this freight train, and then here we go. There we go. There it is. One more time in all of its glory. Here's Scooby. There he is. Flying through the gap to hit no one. And now we're off to the races, and a play that should have gone for nothing goes for a first down. Very next play, first down here. We talked earlier about Devin Moore keeping a nice proximity to Johnny Wilson and to Keon Coleman. He's not going to do it here. This is not going to be ideal. Rodemaker opens up, 3-man rush. We're dropping 8. We're going to give him a lot of time here. You're aware of that as a DB. But this is too much space. You don't need this much of a head start on Johnny Wilson, especially because if you're Devin Moore, you are faster than Johnny Wilson, right? You just don't need to backpedal this much. You cannot be this far away. At this point in time, you should only be about this far away. You have to be able to come make a play on this, and instead, you can't make a play on that. Rodemaker sees it and says, this is a layup. It's the easiest I'm going to make all day for, a nice 15-yard completion right here. It's going to be simple. It's going to be, just super simple right here. And instead, we're getting the bat down. Nice job right here by Cam Jackson, batting this ball down. Unfortunately, we just can't quite get there for a pick. But great job by Cam Jackson. It's going to be an easy first down from a first down right there. Probably going to go for a 15-yard completion because Florida's DB is just not with the right depth difference, right? You got to be closer in proximity, especially when you're in zone, to these receivers. 2nd and 10 now for Florida State. Florida's going to play man defense on this one right here. Bring the safety in. We're manned up. Single high right there. Marshall at the bottom of your screen is going to lose this battle early on. He's here at the numbers. He should be willing to let him take the outside where he maintains inside leverage. Instead, He's going to overcorrect with this step to the outside. Again, if you're a DB here, the sideline is your friend. Do not let him inside release on you, especially when you know that you're in cover one. You don't have any help here, right? There is no help here. There's no help for him in this area. He's in trouble. Florida State's got the right route on. Johnny Wilson has one right here, but Jason Marshall is going to do a nice job catching back up and getting himself into the play window right here to stop that from being a completion. So a nice recovery there, but certainly he should be pounding the ground right here because he should be frustrated that he did not stay sound with his technique there, which allowed that opening. But incomplete pass, bringing up third down and long. Third down and long, Florida State again going to motion over. Every eligible receiver is on this side of the field, and they're going to work this side of the field. Florida's going to elect a bracket, although a wonky bracket here. They're going to bracket Keon Coleman with Wingo and with Mitchell, and they're both kind of really be right next to each other. So not so ideal here, but Mitchell does find himself in close proximity. Theoretically, if Rodemaker was looking, he would have had a window to try to fit this little ball into. But for all practical purposes here at the college level, the backup quarterback, Florida's got this locked up. He's going to throw that ball away. Nothing there. Stop for Florida. The game now hanging in the balance. Florida, with 2 stops on defense, kind of reset the momentum here as we head into the fourth quarter. Still 15-14, under 13 minutes to go. Second down and 9 now for Florida State. Trips yet again to the wide side of the field here. Trips again to the field side. Florida going to play zone. Devin Moore matched up yet again with Johnny Wilson. Yet again, nice crossbody jam. Get on top of the route. He loses control this time. Notice how he's in trail. However, he's all over this play. Now, this is not a well-thrown ball. We saw Jakeem Jackson obviously have issues with turning his head around, but in general, the reason you want to turn your head around is what we said earlier. Most of the time, you are not going to have a far hash back shoulder throw or really a back shoulder throw in general for most quarterbacks at this level. And you're far better off turning your head because you'll get a pick, and also because if the ball is severely underthrown into the inside, which this ball is, it's going to be impossible for you essentially to avoid pass interference, as you must make a play on the ball. You cannot see what's happening. Now Johnny Wilson's coming through you to try to get to the ball, and therefore you're interfering with the pass. And that's unfortunate because there's really nothing there. And in fact, Johnny Wilson himself, you can tell his initial reaction here is not that that's pass interference per se, but he'll take it, right? And Devin Moore's like, man, what's up? Why? And then, oh yeah, that was a poorly thrown ball. That's unfortunate, but if he just turns his head, right here, if he's turning his head to make a play right now, turn your head around. Snap your head around. This route is over. You're 20 yards down the field. Turn your head around. That's a pick for you. That's a pick, and we're going the other way. Right now, he's a sophomore. I love Devin Moore. He's always right there, but that small adjustment in his game, I think, will pay big dividends. So instead of it being third down and long, it's going to be first down and 10 for Florida State. A big play in this game. Third down and 3 now. Florida with 2 stops in a row. Can they get a third? Again, third down and 3 right here. Numbers in the box for Florida, 6. Just 6 in the box for Florida. Numbers in the box for Florida State, 8. Right? Advantage Florida State here, 8 versus 6. They should run the ball, and they do. And Florida is going to win anyway because Big Dez here is going to win his one-on-one matchup with the center. Wins the matchup with the center, gets right there into the A-gap, grabs onto the running back, and puts him down. And he's celebrating. No, don't try that on me. Don't go one-on-one with me in the middle like that. Big play by Big Dez, bringing up a 4th down and 4 with Florida leading 15-14. 4th down and 3 now for Florida State. 4th down and 3/4. This is going to be one of the plays of the game. What does Florida do on this play? We've seen them play zone. We've seen them make a lot of pressure-oriented plays, and Florida is, in fact, going to bring 7 here, but this safety blitz is going to be way too late. I'm sure in hindsight, if you told Coach Ham your safety is going to start at this point in time for his safety blitz on 4th and 3, he would say, don't go at all. Just don't go, right? Instead, sit here in one of these slant windows because that is the most likely route combination you are going to get in this situation, especially on the two receiver side, is you're both probably going to get double slants, right? That's most likely the case. And especially if you bring pressure like this, the quarterback knows there's nobody here. Double slant is the way to go. That's the throw I'm going to look for. And he's going to look for it right away. Open up, right? One step drop in quick game, set the foot, fire the ball. There's Jaden Hill, who's close. He's right there. He can just barely make a play right here. Look at that. He just misses this. Excellent conversion from Florida State. Then again, Florida, I think, wastes a blitz there. I like blitzing. I don't mind blitzing at all. But if you're going to bring your safety blitz, you got to time that right. You're better off going really early and getting stopped at the line of scrimmage and putting that thought into his mind than you are being so late that basically you have no effect. So the poorly timed safety blitz and bringing 7 does not pay off in this case. Really bringing 6 because Cersei stays here. Does not pay off in this case. Now, what could happen better from Jaden Hill? He's in a tough spot. It's why playing nickel is so hard, right? They could run an option route on him where they just clear off Jason Marshall. They know they're in man, and he can go either way. Really, really hard to stop that. They can run a slant route. They can run, obviously an out route, slant route. You can run just an out route on its own. You can run a whip out or a pivot. There's so many things you can run. He's got to guard all of this space essentially because Marshall can't help him if they just run him off. Whereas if they run off Jaden Hill, Marshall knows from the far hash they're not going to try to run like a speed out or any out route really. So he can stay with inside leverage and guess that most likely it's going to be a slant or a dig, right? He can sit here and jump that. So again, Jaden Hill's job here a lot harder in my opinion. Let's watch Jason Marshall here first. Jason Marshall is betting on slant. He gets slant, and look how well he plays this. He steps to the inside, immediately sees the slant coming, looks in. If the ball's coming here, Marshall's making a play on the ball. Whereas Jaden Hill here, he's not sure where this route's going, sees the break, steps right across it, tries to slow him down some, and really by Rodemaker, just a great ball. This is a great ball by Rodemaker at a huge time in the game. And I mean, Jaden Hill makes an aggressive play on it, and that's just a conversion that sometimes you got to tip your hat to the offense and say, nice play. That's a good play. It's a quality play. Again, if those are all of the conversions teams are getting on you during a game, your defense is going to be very good. Huge play here, though, here in the game to keep Florida State's drive alive. 3rd and 3, and this is an example of a play that is not good, right? We just saw one where things were tight and close and well contested, and now we're going to see one that is totally the opposite. First, let's look at the top of our screen here. Look how far away at the start of the snap the freshman Bryce Thornton is, working over here with Devin Moore. There's tons of space over here, a safety way off. It's 3rd down and 3. There's your first down line, 3rd and 3. And on top of that, we are going to make an absolute mess of this over here, as Thornton is going to rotate over top of this. And then you're not going to have Devin Moore even covering this at all. I mean, he is completely wide open for a walk-in touchdown here. We have blown this side. All right, that's a fail. Now let's look down here and see what happens. On the bottom side of the screen, we match up nicely here. We match up nicely here with Princely. And we got Jason Marshall out here pitching a chair and watching the game like the rest of us in the stadium as he has a hitch route run right in front of him past the sticks for an absolute layup. What are we protecting back here? What are we doing back here? What is happening back here? Why do we keep seeing this on film where Florida plays zone and they are protecting nothing? They are defending grass. They're sitting way too far off. It is 3rd down and 3. We have got to be in close proximity to this route. We are dropping off of this no further than here. Here's the sticks. No further than here, so that we can come down and make a play on this, right? Can't make a play from there. A layup first down. A crucial pickup and a layup first down. 3rd and 2 on the 2, and Florida is all kinds of confused. Jason Marshall says, what are we doing here? I have 2 receivers. Thankfully, Rodemaker is not taking advantage of this quickly enough. He's chilling. He's still kind of looking, all right, you know what, you guys aren't ready? I'll let you get ready. That's cool. I'll let you get ready. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, now you're ready. All right, now we'll go. That's cool. Thanks. We have Scooby over here, and now we've also got Devin Moore over there, and we are confused, right? This is not a good look. They have a huge numbers advantage here. This is going to be a walk-in touchdown, and somehow, right, Chris McClellan says, no, it's not. It's not. I'm not going to let that happen. I don't care that we're undermanned, and we are significantly undermanned here in the line of scrimmage. Wingo's going to get through, and then I'm going to get through. Win, arm tackle, down. I mean, that is a hero play, right? A hero play, because essentially Florida in this look There are 9 guys in here for Florida State. And for all practical purposes for Florida at the point of engagement, there are 5. There are 5 guys here that make that play. Wingo times the snap perfectly. Chris McClellan gets in it. And then really, no one else there is going to make a play. Right? So those 5 guys do their job. And a huge stop, forcing a field goal from Florida State. So instead of this game being a 6-point game, it's now going to simply be a 2-point game. 17-15 Florida State into the fourth quarter. 5:21 left in the fourth quarter. Florida State still up 17-15. Florida's offense unable to do anything here. Florida's defense needs to come up with a stop here. Needs to come up with a stop. Florida State going to run right here. A slant fade combo. Fade here coming from the slot. Jaden Hill on defense. Jason Marshall here. Castell recognizing he's going to get back. So let's first look at Castell and Jason Marshall on the slant. Jason's over top. Castell comes underneath. Nice work. That's a good bracket right there. So we're looking good. Now let's focus on Jaden Hill. How are we looking down here? Jaden Hill trying to stay in this route by staying directly underneath it. We've got Keon Coleman now. It looks to me like, you tell me, they're grabbing each other, and then there's Keon shoving Jaden. Watch the helmet go back. Keon shoving Jaden, and then shoving him again. This time in the head, in the face mask. Shoving him again. 2 shoves, ball goes over his head, and there's a flag. One more time. Watch the entire route. No marks on the screen. Here you go. Going out there to the fade. From the slot. You tell me what's happening here. Shove. Shove again. Ball goes over the head. Lands on the ground. Flags everywhere. 2 flags. 2 flags, right? And Jaden Hill is thinking, it can't be me. Florida's coaching staff thinking that's got to be on them. That's outrageous. And even here, you can see that Keon Coleman is thinking, he's not celebrating because he's kind of thinking, I did it, because he knows he did it. And on this play, of course, it's going to go against Florida. A big call, another penalty by first down in this game. This is not Jaden Hill's fault. It's just a bad call. It's a bad call. You saw it for yourself. Not a good call, bad call at a crucial point in the game that leads to an automatic first down for Florida State. Instead of a 3rd and 13 after the penalty now, we have a 2nd and 5 after 5 yards on first down. Florida going to bring Jason Marshall here on a corner blitz, a perfectly timed call by Coach Ham. As Florida State's trying to take a shot here with the play action, right? They want to hit this shot here to Coleman. Again, they're trying to get Keon Coleman as involved as possible. Florida's got that bottled up. Castell in good position here. And Jason Marshall coming in for the sack. Big loss. Big play for Florida's defense, down just 2, setting up a very long 3rd down. All right, 3rd and 14. Florida State now needs a conversion to keep their drive alive, run the clock some more, perhaps get an insurance field goal. Florida with a stop here is getting the ball back, just down 2. Just down 2. What does Florida come with look-wise? They're going to rush 4. And when 2 become 1, that is not what you want to do, right? This is never what you want to see on the D-line. You got to stay in your gap as you commit pressure here. You cannot allow quarterbacks to step up through this. It is the worst case scenario. Coverage-wise, what has Florida got right here? Johnny Wilson running a hitch here. Florida locked up everywhere else, right? This would have been where the ball would have went, as Jason Marshall right here definitely gets beat. Why does he get beat? Comes in for a super aggressive bump or jam on the bump and run, right? Misses his jam very badly, and Johnny Wilson with huge separation on him on an in-breaking route has an easy first down. But not where we're looking. We're coming out here anyway. So now this is all locked up, so we're in good shape. Now can Sapp make a tackle? Sapp is right here. Can he make a tackle? Does he get held right there? I don't know. Either way, he can't make the tackle, and now we're off to the races, right? Florida's largely in man, so the only guys with eyes on the ball are here and here. So Thornton now has got to be a hero, and he reads this correctly, and he immediately comes flying downhill from a freshman. Nice job. Jaden Hill also reads this. He comes here. So we have 2 defenders coming here, first down line here. You know what happens next as Tate starts to slide right here, right when he crosses the 50. Now you're playing defense. You do not want this guy to come out here. He can easily sell out for the first down. You're thinking he probably will. This is a huge play, right? He's probably not going to stop short. And then he goes into a very quick slide. And now, I want you to watch this if you're Bryce. You've run how far here? It's about a 20-yard sprint. You're containing. You see him go down. And right at the last second as he goes down, you engage. And both players, of course, launch themselves, hit the quarterback flag. Now, under the rule, that is the correct call. Obviously, you cannot do that. This is one of those plays where I think being a defender, it's just so difficult. Are you supposed to decelerate here and wait for him to engage with you? And if he does lower his shoulder, he probably runs you over or takes you with him for a first down because you're decelerating. Or do you come in full speed and make a tackle on him, assuming, of course, that he is going to get there, and he goes with this very quick slide. And unfortunately, that's just the way that football is right now, both in the NFL and obviously in college. You're protecting quarterbacks, you're protecting health and safety, and the cost of that is that playing defense has become much, much harder. And on this kind of play, in this kind of situation, at this point in the game, where you're thinking a quarterback may lay himself on the line to get this, and you're all sprinting at each other, and to basically right now, as you see him slide, have the mindset to jump over him. Again, when you're playing tackle football, it's not two-hand touch, right? In two-hand touch, you're never going to see this. In flag football, you're never going to see this because you're coming downhill and you got to pull a flag. You're naturally going to you're all going to slow down. You can't truck each other. But it's football. He can run you over. He can run both of you over. You can run him over unless he decides to slide in the open field at the last second, in which case then you contact him, right? So I think in this case, this to me is not egregious. If you're a Florida defender or a Florida coach, to me this is unfortunate. It's a tough spot. You are close to this first down marker right here. To dive over a sliding guy when you've run 20 or 23 yards and your mentality is ready for contact is just difficult. But it doesn't make it any less brutal. This is a killer penalty for Florida, as again, they get a stop here. Florida State most likely is going to punt this ball away to Florida, or they're going to go for it on fourth down and give Florida a short field if you get a stop. And this was a dagger, just an absolute dagger to Florida's chances here. 2 weeks in a row, third down and longs in crucial scenarios for very different reasons. First downs gained by the other team, and this one hurts. 3rd and 3, 2:50 left, game on the line. Here is where you got to die on this hill. Florida going to bring 10 guys into the line of scrimmage. However, in my opinion, kind of curiously, we've got Princely matched up with a tight end, which is why you see him out here. And if this play becomes a pass, he is going to be covering him some. So Florida going to leave a gap here. I think Florida State knew this on film. I think this is a good scouting piece by Florida State with this formation, because watch what they do right here is they're going to run a gap run right here. Basically, your right tackle is shooting into here. Then your fullback, or your tight end, rather fullback in this case, really your H-back is going to shoot right in here. And this is what you're going to get. And then you're going to get a seal on the end. So because there's no one here to contact them at the line of scrimmage, there's no bodies there, right? Clean release in here, come down here, and let's see if we can get to the second level, which we do, right? There's Jaden Robinson, freshman linebacker. He's going to get driven just way out of the play. But you're running here where you have no opposition because Princely is out here to cover your tight end. So good job by Mike Norvell setting up a look that is favorable to Florida State. But, here comes your unblocked man, your corner, Jalen Kimber. And Florida's corners have been woefully disappointing at tackling, oftentimes unwilling to tackle, which again, I think it's fair to question this type of look if you don't think your corner can tackle. And I think it's safe to say on film that Kimber cannot tackle. And you're going to see it right here. He has an unobstructed run into this gap. There's nobody here blocking him. There's nobody coming into this gap. This is his gap alone. Here's the first down. Come downhill, fill this gap with a vengeance, hit the running back, be a hero, set up fourth down. Kimber elects to come in, gingerly, wait. I don't know what you call this. You tell me what you call this. Take a look. What do you call this? I don't have a name for that. I don't know what that is. But that is not a game-saving play versus your rival in your home stadium, trying to become bowl eligible, trying to get the ball back to your offense. trying to keep it a one-score game, tackle. I don't know what that is. Here's your other corner right here, Jason Marshall. He's working from the backside. Right here he is. Here comes the running back. He's right here, right in front of him. Here he is. I don't know what that is either. And then here's Castell, your freshman Castell. Not going to get him. There's a miss by your other freshman, Thornton. Touchdown. Again, this has been the story of Florida's season. Story of Florida's season. If you're going to run this kind of scheme, in one argument, you have an unblocked corner coming to fill the gap. You want to play corner in the league, you better be able to get in here and make a tackle, right? I get it. The scheme allowed for this. We stopped it here. Huge penetration here. No go. We got to go here. Fill the gap. Play's dead. Play's dead. However, you get that. Then you get that. Then you get a touchdown versus your rival at home in the swamp like that. Frustrating. Just a frustrating way, obviously, for Florida to go down. A fitting end in many regards to Florida's season. This film was in this game. So many plays that Florida made in this game were solid. The majority of the plays on defense were quite excellent. But if it's not excellent, it tends to be a train wreck, whether it's a penalty or a blown assignment, or like the play you just saw right there. A missed tackle, a lack of effort, lack of desire, lack of physicality. Whatever it is, it's a mixed bag across the board on film this season. Florida never got it together in the second half of the season on defense. They never recovered after losing Shamar James, their best linebacker. And when they had opportunities, whether it was their fault blowing an assignment or a bad call by an official or something else, they just could not seemingly get that high leverage play outside of their last win, which came against South Carolina, where Florida's defense did make those plays. So that's going to put a wrap on the 2023 season film review for the defense. Frustrating is the right word, although it is statistically much improved over the 2022 defense, especially when it comes to success rate, which again measures every single play and how productive it is. Vastly improved from last year's defense. That does show on this film. But another losing season, Florida's third straight losing season, the first time that has happened since the early 1940s. I'd be lying if I said that it's been my pleasure to bring you all these film reviews, as my voice tends to be going in and out. And Florida's product on the field is not good. But the reason we do these film reviews is they do produce a nice archive for what Florida's football team looks like. Is it progressing? Are we getting better? Is Billy Napier and Coach Ham, are they the answer at the positions? Well, the film will tell us, right? And so far, the film tells us exactly what it told us this year. The defensive product was excellent at times, horrible at others, but overall just not good enough. Allowed too many yards and too many big plays in big moments. Silver lining being tons of youth out there on the field. Next year, you will no longer have the youth excuse. When freshmen become sophomores and they played an entire season, you can't use that anymore. So we're going to learn a lot about this football team next season. Right now, there's more questions than there are answers. And a loss to your bitter rival, Florida State, is never going to make anybody feel good. As always, I hope you enjoyed this season's content of the Gator Nation Football Podcast film review. I'm glad I was able to bring it to you, and I look forward to bringing you, hopefully, some special content on film review throughout the playoff and bowl season, as well as into the off season this year, so stay tuned for that. I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, and as always, go Gators.